Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Archangels and Ascended Masters, for this moment of greatness. We let it be great through gratitude, and we're so grateful to be alive. We're so grateful to have peace and to understand peace. And for anything that feels not peaceful, we very simply choose to love that, be that a person, be that a group, be that a country, be that a belief, be that a pain, be that physical discomfort, be that anxiety. We choose to love all those things right now, but allowing with that love going out, just by mentioning it, we allow ourselves right now to receive with great care and with great generosity. And we thank the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels for all the goodness that is here in this moment right now. So if we could just breathe in, and if we could notice in perhaps a huge ring like an equator, um, everyone you've ever spent Thanksgiving with, people who are passed away, grandparents, parents, cousins, dogs and cats of yesteryear, if we could just notice all those beings circling you like an equator. And if we could notice right around you, there being the energy of love. So we could notice all the love that your body has experienced, all the generosity that you have shared, and letting that remembrance, that peace come forward, that love is what matters. And the intention of gathering, the actual act of gathering, is an act of love in itself. So if we could just breathe into the love that has existed and that exists now. Wonderful. And if we could notice St. Teresa, all St. Teresas, I think there's three of them. If we could notice those St. Teresas, the St. Teresa from long, long centuries ago, St. Teresa who was French, and Mother Teresa, if we could notice those three Teresas and perhaps others coming forward and them being like trees right around you. And if we could notice with them being like trees that they are solid and they give. So if we could just breathe in the same way that physical trees communicate telepathically, that they work as a group, that they help the planet. If we could let those same dynamics happen right now between the three Teresas or more and you. So if we could just breathe into that. And we'll speak in the singular, but let's very simply say out loud, thank you, Teresa, for being with me. And if we could breathe into that, if we could say out loud, Teresa, what would you like me to know? Wonderful. If we could breathe in and having the actual physical sensation of them having your back, which might mean sensation in your back. And in the connection between you and the angels, if we could know, and you and the guides, like the Teresas, if we could notice energy going out in the form of angels to take care of things for you, be that a relative who might be in peril, be that someone who's experiencing a transition of a person or an animal, be that any worry about finances, letting the angels connect you with the perfect job, the perfect people, the perfect relationships, letting the angels work the perfect harmony, the perfect authentic connections. Let's very simply let the angels go to work, and in the same way that we don't follow the waiter back into the kitchen to make sure they do their job right, let's just trust the angels are doing their work. Let's just breathe into that. And if we could let perhaps a sense of weight collapse in half, letting 50% of any weight that we're holding, letting that collapse in half. Let's just breathe into that. And coming back to the Teresa trees, and if you could notice you being able to lounge, sitting right where you are, lying down where you are, to lounge in their presence. And if we could notice the entirety of the tree system, the roots, the trunk, the branches and leaves, If we could notice there being groundedness inherent in the Teresa trees, and also reaching for the sky, shelter, a home for birds and other animals. We could notice the generosity that is here in these trees. And if you could feel the warmth and inclusion offered to you by these trees. And if we could very simply hand over the energy of a crisis, be that a crisis past tense, current, or anticipatory, let's very simply hand over that word to the trees and let them absorb it. And let's fully occupy right now the space that we're heading toward as humanity, which is connection, cooperation, unified goals, recognizing everybody wants peace and love. So let's breathe and let those things happen. And if we can notice all the edges in your life being smoothed out, the visual they're giving with that, if you were a sculpture, that the Teresas are smoothing out, like finishing the marble so it's smooth. Anything that might be rough, getting smoothed out. So if we could feel emotional smoothing and sanding, and if we could notice that happening in the absence of anything called judgment, just letting this be an act of refinement from the Teresas to you. Wonderful. If we could notice the Mother Teresa tree, and if we could notice her incredible might and her incredible focus, and also that she believed in self-punishment, if we could notice her communicating with you about how she's healed that, moving away from self-punishment into a space of self-love and self-acceptance. We'll just breathe in, and whether you feel that, see that, hear that, or know that, let's notice her communication directly to you. Wonderful. And if we go into spiritual land here, moving outside of your physical body, if you could notice your spirit climbing up the Mother Teresa tree and letting that be effortless, like you were a squirrel. Effortless and fun. So if we could just breathe into that and and very simply noticing what it's like to climb that tree, what it's like to be at a height. And from that height, let's very simply, with your physical voice, let's say out loud, I fully accept myself right now. I'm doing my absolute best. Thank you, angels, for helping me in every part of my life. I release punishing myself. I release punishing others. I release holding on to shame. I release shaming others. I embrace the richness of being alive. I'm so grateful to be fully alive right now. Wonderful. If we could breathe in and noticing your spirit self up high in that tree. And if we could notice the effortlessness, like you were a squirrel or a monkey, to climb from one Teresa tree to another. Let's notice climbing to the French Teresa, the little flower. She had a strong connection with spirit. Let's very simply notice that tree. And if you could notice the scent of that tree and what it immediately offers you. There's a joke there about the French translation. Let's just notice you'll be able to communicate effortlessly with her. Let's just breathe in. But of course, we'll just breathe in. Great. And if we could have a sense like a koala bear of really hugging um, the trunk, the branch, just notice really connecting strongly with the little flower Teresa tree and noticing how safe you are. If we could just breathe into that and feeling that all of your needs are met in that tree right now, all of them. And taking the example of the koala bear, that you have safety, you're safe from predators, you have leaves, you're among friends. Let's just breathe in and just notice all the things that are happening and generated, the restructuring of cells, and noticing this core thing of being safe. Let's just take in a breath. Let's say a few things out loud. I allow myself to be safe right now. I recognize that I am safe right now. I am safe right now. In specific wording, I declare and claim that all of my loved ones are safe right now. I declare and claim that all of my loved ones are safe right now. So we'll just breathe into all that. And if you could notice the activation, the richness in your heart, your physical heart, your heart chakra, your heart center. And like how a tree is constantly evolving, let's notice there being new growth in your heart. Wonderful. If we could breathe in, and we'll notice a conclusion of connecting with the French Teresa tree. If we could notice perhaps some energy moving or clarity happening in your throat chakra or in your physical throat. And let's say out loud, I speak words of peace. I speak words of peace to myself and to others. I live in a land of peace. Wonderful. Great. Um, we're going to go to a fourth Teresa tree. We're going to come back to the ancient Teresa. We're going to hop to the fourth Teresa tree, which might be the mystery Teresa. If we could just take in a breath and notice instantly what that tree is like. And perhaps we can notice nurturing energy. That tree perhaps being like Mother Mary. And indeed, let's notice a continuation and perhaps a new experience of new things, new growth, new ideas, new jobs, new relationships, new. A new way of being. And if we could do that, invite new things, new dynamics without criticizing what is or what was. We could just invite the evolution and notice how things are being added to your life. And let's say out loud, I welcome positive additions to my life. I'm still evolving. I welcome a positive evolution. And if we could notice here an interruption of perhaps ancestral beliefs or cultural beliefs that by a certain age you are fixed, you are done, your molded clay has gone into the furnace. If we could just release that idea, if we could say out loud, I'm not done. I'm positively evolving. I am participating in humanity's evolution. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in, and like the dog just did, if we could just breathe in perhaps a sigh. Wonderful. And let's just place our full attention on this fourth Teresa tree, the nurturing tree, the giving tree. And notice what else comes. If we can notice something very specific, that your footing on this tree is incredibly solid. There is zero chance of your foot slipping. So if we could feel that solid connection, that it's not so much just you holding on to the tree and hoping not to slip, but the tree holding on to you, the tree supporting you. If we could just breathe in and let this be a perfect metaphor of how spirit works, that it's a 50-50 relationship. We have to open the door and invite and receive, but they are right there with us. If we could just breathe into that collaboration, that cooperation. And if we can, like you were browsing in a bookstore, just really notice for the first time how substantial the angel's contribution is, how substantial the contribution from the Teresas is, the contribution from your ancestors, contribution from your guides, the contribution from Mother, Father, God. all these systems that work perfectly, that you are included in. So if we can very generously from the tree space, notice any past insecurity dropping to the ground that you don't need anymore. Old rules, any moment of giving away power. Let's let drop to the ground. If we could just breathe in and recognize, like you're doing right now, that you know exactly how this system works. That we have an intention, we have a vision of what we want to have happen. We share it with the divine and we take action toward it. Be that peace of mind, be that a peaceful planet, be that feeling included, be that welcoming more abundance, be that having the career that you want, expressing yourself creatively, all these things. If we could just breathe in. Let's just very simply, okay, we're gonna hop to the other tree. If we could, we'll do something in a second. If we could breathe in, and let's go to the ancient Teresa tree, the mighty tree, the complete connection with Mother, Father, God tree. If we could just breathe in and notice you being held in that tree. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into that alliance, the syncing up with that tree. And noticing that tree holding you. So noticing what it's like for the tree to embrace you so you don't need to hold on, that you are held with the implicit trust that a child being held by its mother has. If we could just breathe into that. And let's say a few things or several things out loud. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to express myself creatively. I'm so grateful to express myself positively. I'm so grateful for the infinite abundance that I witness every day. I'm so grateful for all the abundance in my life. I'm so grateful to receive even more. I'm so grateful to be constantly evolving. I'm so grateful to be connected to spirit. I'm so grateful to be I'm so grateful to be masterfully intuitive. I use my intuition for good. I'm so grateful to be right on time. Wonderful. If we could continue that, just letting it be private, that you fill in the blank, I'm so grateful for. Just notice what's here for you. We'll just hold the space. I'm so grateful for. I'm so grateful to. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And let's say this: I'm so grateful to be heard. I'm so grateful to be seen. I'm so grateful to participate in life. I'm so grateful. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in, and if we could notice whether you feel it, see it, hear it, or know it. Let's notice the ancient Teresa tree, the masterful tree, the tall tree, contributing to you what the universe is grateful for you about, how the universe is grateful for you. If we could just breathe in, if we could notice your heart opening to just receive that, which might be subtle energy, might be overt energy. So just breathe in and just receive. And if you could notice as that gratitude is shared with you, every single cell in your body reaping in the benefits of love and that equaling healing. If we could notice in that tree, very gently, like in a animation movie, the branches and leaves of the tree surrounding you, so you're in a cocoon of love. If we could let that tree, those branches, those leaves heal you perfectly right now, healing any nerve pain, any joints, any condition, any anxiety, any insecurity, filling you up with nurturing energy, loving you completely, noticing all the good that is here. And in the same way, much earlier, that angels went out to others, let's very simply notice anyone you're aware of who might need some healing, be that an animal, be that a person, be that a person in a hospital, be that a person who might be transitioning or has just transitioned, a child, a grandchild, a parent, a grandparent. Just let the angels take care of them. And with the absolute assurance that that is happening, let's come back and focus on this tree-based cocoon of healing that you are in right now. Your brain healing in all ways, including being highly elastic. And just breathe in and let that embrace happen. And like a mother, if we can notice the ancient Teresa cradling you in her arms and speaking to you in loving tones, if we could just breathe in, and whether you hear her, feel her, see her, or know what she's saying, it's very simply just drink in her praise for you, her nurturing words for you, her prayers for you, her dedication to you. everything you're aware of, everyone you're aware of, everything. Let's very simply notice the angels, Mother, Father, God, all the guides and goddesses and masters embracing everything you're aware of, everything in your view, everything being embraced with love. Old dogs, new dogs, children, people who are troubled, your bank account, all being embraced, all being loved, your nervous system, your joints, your heart, the United States, the planet, the universe. Let's let all of this be embraced right now and notice the uniformity of love. That love doesn't stop, go, oh, not going over there. Let's just breathe in and notice that love flows, love flows, love flows. And let's let love flow. Let's let love flow to include anything we might call cancer. Let's let love flow to something we might call insecurity. Let's let love flow and heal core wounds. Let's let love flow and infuse projects that we're working on, or new projects, and old projects, or projects that might be sparked tomorrow or right now. Infusing all those projects with love. Changes in career being showered with love. Traumas from the past, including murder, being healed with love. And evolving to a space where we don't harm each other, where we don't reject each other, where we don't judge each other. Let's just notice we're heading toward that space. And we can occupy that space right now. Let's just breathe into all of that. And let's very simply say out loud, if we could do that in a slightly different tone, a tone of assurance, I'm included in all the good in the universe. Okay, we'll say that again with a smile. I'm included in all the good in the universe. I am. I welcome more good into my life. I am masterfully kind. I receive masterful kindness. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in, and if we could notice the change of positioning between you and the ancient Teresa tree, the tall tree. If you could feel the infusion of ancient wisdom in every single cell in your body, which includes perfect harmony and the perfect balance of divine masculine and divine feminine energy, the perfect hardwiring of incredible intuition. If we could breathe into everything being here right now, everything. Everything. And let's say out loud, everything is here. Everything is right here. I am everything. I embrace everything. I have the capacity to embrace everything. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into all that. So let's notice in a very pleasant way what it's like to be filled up. Let's notice your cells having a different experience, including cells that might be labeled a certain way. And we'll notice all the good, all the generosity, and all the love that is here right in this moment. And if we can notice with the gentleness of a leaf very gently floating to the surface of the forest floor, let's notice you very simply being on the ground, being very grounded, surrounded by these 4 Teresa trees, knowing in your heart the angels are at work for your highest good. It's very simply the same way you would touch the trunk of a tree in a forest or a park. We could just breathe in and touching those trees. We could say out loud to them, thank you so much. Thank you for existing. And to the trees, we'll say, I honor your existence. And to the rest of humanity, we'll say out loud, I honor your existence. Wonderful. We'll just breathe in. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we'll reap in all that has been here and let it continue and feel full. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we thank the presence of Mother, Father, God, and all the archangels and ascended masters. We thank the 4 Teresa trees. We thank the angels. We thank all the good that has happened right now, all the sparks of insight, all the groundingness, the grounding, and all the good. We celebrate all this goodness. We thank the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels for this moment. We celebrate life. We're so grateful to have things to be grateful for. And with generosity and love, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time, and so it is.